right, boys. So how's Bitbreakers? Omega Strikers dev's new game. So shout out to that. How's that going for you boys?
It's weird.
It's
Weird.
a
Okay.
it's
All right,
an
love to hear
idea.
it. It's an idea. All right, love to
I
hear
mean,
that.
first off, let's say this, that Odyssey Interactive themselves more or less said, hey, this is what we've been working on. Here's a playable playtest. Let us know what you feel like, and we might finish it.
It was more of a statement of them going, hey, we know we said we were going to do some more games. Here's an idea we had. If you want us to keep doing it, we will.
I love the transparency.
Yes. They were very much like, here's a build that we have. Have fun with it. Let us know, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So I'm going to give a brief rundown of what the game is. This is a team-based 2D platform brawler BR.
So
40 players on a map.
How many?
40.
40 players, teams of 2. 2D platformer. And 2D brawler.
Okay.
That's the setup.
That's
the setup.
That is the game.
See, when I Googled this game to get a picture for the thumbnail, like the first thing that I saw was an article was like Super Smash Brothers Battle Royale. I'm like, what?
Yep.
was
That's
like, what?
exactly what it is.
It's like, what?
Yeah. It plays just as weird as it sounds.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Controller scheme makes no sense.
Nope.
Perfect. Love it.
It's weird. It's one of the...
I mean, overall, in terms of what we in this play build, it is definitely a concept in the works. It is very obvious. I mean, overall, what we got, it is actually very entertaining. It is intriguing. In terms of BR and brawler platformers, it's something new.
Fair. New is good. Unique is good.
In terms of the brawler platformer side of it, it's not stock. It's health percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of actual fighting, it is weird. There's no, which was my big thing, is just it has no follow-up, just normal combos. You have your basic normal attack of neutral, up, sides, down, and then your specials, and then a heavy attack of neutral, up, side, down.
Yeah. You essentially, you have a normal attack. You have your, like you said, then you have your special attacks, and then you essentially just have smash attacks.
And then you can also empower your special attacks.
Yeah, that's all weird.
And in terms of, and I mean, in terms of like a brawler, everyone thinks, of course, Smash, because even in their like announcement, like, we know by saying platform brawler, we're going to get compared to Smash.
Yep.
And everything. It's just like, so most people's essential combo setup is a string of normals into specials. Mm-hmm. Well, for this, it's more of a like traditional fighting game of which you have to figure out your own combos by connections, which is very intriguing for doing in a platform brawler, and a bit of a learning curve for anyone who's more used to like Smash. Mm-hmm. Overall, there is a lot going on, but I mean, it's not terribly hard to figure out if you're used to any kind of VR or just general fighting game.
Mm-hmm. The movement in the game is probably the best part about the game.
Yes.
I honestly didn't necessarily enjoy the combat that much. For most of the characters, there's a couple characters I enjoyed their like special attacks and how they actually played. The movement, though, I did enjoy the movement. Had a lot of fun running circles around people that were trying to finish me off. Mm-hmm. We gained quite a few places by me being able to just run circles around 4 people.
Right.
But yeah, kind of like you said, the combat itself, like inherently, because it's a platform brawler that uses a like percentage health. It also has, as your health gets lower and lower, your knockback increases. So then landing combos, like, or trying to figure out inherent combos that you can use with like normal attacks leading into specials or something, also hard to do. And then like trying to just keep track or chase people down is kind of difficult. Yeah, and then
just for shits and giggles, because it's a BR, there's also gear and items.
yeah, you get 3 gear slots, like what was it, like chest, boot, and hand slot, that you can find different rarities for, and they all do different things as far as like increasing your sprint speed or increasing your air dodge distance,
Allowing
or,
you to run up walls.
yeah, run up walls or heal for a percentage of the damage you deal or something like that. And then there's items like throwable items, healing items.
And there's special glitches that are randomly chosen each map and just put in 2 different locations where you can pick up and you get a overpowered ability, but you're also now visible on everyone's map for the rest of the game.
Okay. What's the general like reception of this game so far? Because like obviously it's what the Odyssey's kind of waiting on. Is like, hey, if you guys like this, we'll make it, but we'll finish it. Like, what's the
I really
reception?
haven't seen a whole lot yet myself, but then again, I haven't checked the community tab.
Yeah, I haven't looked to see reception. My personal opinion is the concept of like a 2D platform brawler BR. I'm not necessarily opposed to the concept. I kind of like the concept of it. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the implementation of it so far. Granted, it would need more work, but them needing more work the concept needing more work is what is kind of
On the line
the
here.
sticking point for me.
Right.
It's like they need to be convinced that it's a good idea to do it, but I need to be convinced by them doing more for me to want to continue playing it.
Yes. I'm in the same boat as John. I mean, in terms of concept, it is very interesting and it was entertaining for definitely something new and a different experience in terms of a platform fighter and BR. My biggest thing would just be have more fluid combat iteration because I've played through most of the roster, and in terms of just overall being able to jump in and play, there is a bit of a gap besides like Juliet, Amy, and I think now we're probably the easiest to string some sort of combination together very quickly.
I think Now was the only one I did end up playing. And honestly, like Juliet seems to be like if you're just jumping in and want a character to play and have a decent idea of what to do, you can kind of just hit buttons on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Juliet's always been.
Yeah.
Even in like Omega Strikers. I mean, personally, the character that I was able to actually string some stuff together with inherently, not even necessarily Luna, because Luna was just, you have big hit boxes and you have big AoE
just kept
hit
dropping
boxes.
rockets.
No, it's actually Rune.
Oh, really? Okay.
Rune was the one that made more sense because most of the way people are going to try to catch you is they're going to sprint towards you, dash through the air, and he inherently, one of his specials is I'm gonna put a portal up here. You don't get to go this way, and it kind of just blocks off some of the jump at you tools. And then his neutral special is he throws out like a little wave of energy, and it's just kind of like, I mean, you can't just stand there and take it. So you got to choose to engage or don't engage. And if you back off, well, I can just kind of try to set up around you.
And the best thing about it is when he uses his energy bars for that, it just becomes a giant wave across the whole damn screen.
But yeah, it's a weird one to say because, like I said, I'm in the boat of I kind of like the overall concept, but I want to play a more polished version of it. But they won't make a more polished version of it unless people they can convince them, if the players can convince them that it's worth it.
Yeah. Which, just doing a quick little search, obviously there's no reviews on Steam because it's playtest, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't really get to dive into the discussions because, I'm trying to keep the pace of the show. But like just going based off titles, there were some positive. There was one title that said, I doubt this is it. Looking at the Steam charts, the highest peak was 2,700 players.
I mean, but me and John talked about that last night after I finished playing. I was like, I wouldn't expect it to be higher than that, just because
Yeah.
literally you had to be following Odyssey Interactive to even catch a whiff of this.
Yeah, right.
Because this has only come up in like the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
2 days,
They literally
yeah.
just posted about it a day before. They're like, servers are up.
Yep. It's like, come play this, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also one where, like I said, it's a concept idea, and it's one that we haven't really seen. We've seen the this idea done as a like 3D brawler, like fighting type BRs. We've seen that. I forget what the name of the game was. It was like DKO or something. It was more like the wrestling BR type game.
Oh shit! You guys talked about it before.
Yeah.
One of you did. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the
though.
one that's dead now.
Yeah,
I
remember that.
I think it
game.
was like DKO or something.
No, that is Divinity Knockout, which is a high-res game. That is a 3D brawler, but a different type of one.
Yeah, it was something knockout, I
Yeah.
think, or at
It's
least that's
something,
stuck
yeah.
in my head. There was we've seen that kind of done before, and it had a pretty good community around. I knew people who played that. It looked interesting. I just never played it. Now we have like kind of a 2D variant of that in a sense. Rumbleverse. But yeah, it's like, so now we see another kind of concept of that. Like I said, interesting. If they decide to continue making it, that'll be interesting. Like I said, I'd like to see a more polished version of it. And at least now that it's shown out there somewhere, we may see more of them.
Right. With this game though coming out, one thing that I was going to be curious about just from like Odyssey is even though they're like moving on from Omega, or they already completely moved on, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're only doing balance patches at this point.
So I'm wondering if whatever the next game's going to be, whether they go all in on Bit Breakers or whatever, are they just going to continue to stay in the same like universe?
Yeah,
Like,
as it stands, that's what they've said.
That's their plan.
I mean, they got cool characters, so why not?
I mean, and that's more or less what they said. They felt sort of bad at leaving Omega Strikers because they didn't expect it to pop off as quickly as it did or as much as it did. But they kept to their plan and just like, we created all these characters. We're not just going to leave them behind, so we're going to bring them along.
Yeah.
It's like I guess their plan is like they'll make a game, support it as long as it makes sense to, or even then if like people are still playing it, be like, yeah, we want to make something else though. So we'll continue to give you balance pad, or we'll continue to support you playing this, but we're going to actively move on from it.
Right.
And just continue working that way. Which, I mean, if you're gonna take the time to create the characters, why not bring them along with your next one?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, they got a cool cast of characters. They've done a great job on that front. So just bring them along for whatever the next journey is. Watch, they'll make one day way down the line, they'll make John's favorite of a hero shooter. Just watch.
I mean, they could try.
They could try. They got the characters for it.
I mean, so far though, they very much seem like they're in that wheelhouse of we want to make something unique.
Yeah.
Because we got our weird air hockey brawler, and now we got a brawler BR.
Yeah. Like they want to try to reinvent something, or like not even reinvent. They want to try to invent something. Is I think the better vibe for it.
They want to give players a new experience. Pretty much is what I'm getting the vibe from Odyssey.
Yeah. Hey, grade A effort. Love that. Is this available for anyone to try?
Yeah, you just got to wish list it on Steam, and then you request access. You'll get it almost immediately.
Okay.
Even in their Discord message when they win, it's like, "Hey, this is how you do it." You're probably going to get access, so just do it.
Right. All right. Fair
But
enough.
the servers are only up till Sunday. So, yeah. Unless you're listening to this live, servers are probably dead.
Oh, rip. Rip. Should have let off with that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's the other thing me and Zach talked about last night after we finished playing was, it had a peak of like 2,700 players. When we were playing last night, it had like 1,300 or 1,400 people playing it. But then that made me ask the question. I was like, what's enough players for a company like this?
That's a good question.
Because it's like Omega Strikers popped off for a little while, but its average player base, I don't think it was like more than about 14,000 on like any given day, like not picking anything out, like on an especially high day. And that seemed to be more than they expected to have.
Yeah.
So maybe like 2,000-3,000 players is what they expect for a game to be, or what they would have expected a game to be.
Maybe that's what they're gunning for too. I mean, obviously you gun for more, but at the bare minimum, like, hey, let's just hit that and let's make a fun, creative
It
experience.
just becomes, I think for a studio their size, what's considered a success for them.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I hope they hit whatever they're trying to hit. I do, because I'm all about trying to be creative and give players.
And then the other thing is, besides just player base, what other metrics are they going to be looking at to decide, yes, we'll continue fleshing this out?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point too. Probably just like the general feedback, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, how many users are in the Discord by ballpark? A few thousands? I don't think I'm in that Discord. I'm in a lot of random Discords. I don't think I'm in that one. My guess would probably be a few thousands, maybe. It makes sense to me.
It has 81,000 members on it.
Okay. Yeah, a few thousands then. Shout out to that.
34,000 are currently online.
Okay. Shout out to that. So, I mean, that could be your potential measuring stick there. You know, as long as people are looking at the server. They may not be looking at the server. So, I don't know. Either way.